One of those big decisions you will make as an online course creator and online business is what technology you are going to use. And there's lots of variables to consider, but today I want to share some things to remember as you are picking out your perfect tools. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
Hey there, so glad you're here for episode 217. First, though, I need to tell you about this amazing Kajabi special that's going on right now. They are offering 50% off for the entire year, and I have never seen a deal this good before from Kajabi. So it's so good, I'm even throwing in some bonuses that I've never shared before. So if you have been wondering, like, is Kajabi the right tool for me? And granted, it's not the right tool for everyone. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. But if it is something you've been thinking about and wanting to play with, I wanted to make sure that you use the link in the show notes to sign up, because you're going to get some incredible bonuses from me. So a couple things. One, when you use that link, make sure you go over to the bottom right and pick which plan you want. You can get started with Kickstarter for only $34 a month. So if you just want to play with it and test it out, that's an option. If you know you're going to need more than one product, then you might want to select one of the higher plans, because you can get more products to play with and offer. So, but they're all half off for the entire year, which is just unheard of. So I hope you will jump in on that. And then I'm giving away not only my normal bonuses, which is $1,500 worth of free courses, you can also get 10 weeks of coaching with me for free, plus my 24-hour course creator program, which I have never given away. And you'll have access as long as your Kajabi account is live. So if you cancel at some point, then you lose access. But otherwise, you will have access, and we'll get to work together for the next 10 weeks. So I can't wait to get started with you and get going on that. And we're going to put your entire online business together. This training that I have is like step by step on how to go through what to click on, what to set up. So I'd love for you to come join me. This is the time to jump in and get 2025 ready to go. Secondly, I really want to thank you for coming back to listen to this episode. I am so sorry I missed last week's episode. Our cat almost died on Sunday, and he's had 2 surgeries, and it has been a rough week for around the house. So, sometimes life intervenes, and I appreciate you hanging with me even when I have to miss a week of this podcast, because I really do love getting to chat with you every week. Okay, so now let's move on to have a little bit more of a serious chat about the tech stack that you are using. And when I say tech stack, I'm talking about the tools that you choose to run your online business. And there's a few things that you kind of have to have in order to run a business efficiently. And then there's a bunch of things that are like wonderful and extra and nice and can make you more productive, but aren't the essentials. So some of the essentials, obviously, you need a way to do an email newsletter. You need a way to do landing pages so people can opt in. You need a place to host your course so that you can have people logging in and getting access to the training that they're signing up. You probably need something either like Kajabi has their coaching feature, so you could do live coaching, or you can use Zoom to do live calls and if you're going to do coaching with either groups or with people. So those are some of the essentials. But as you are figuring out where you land, here are a few things to keep in mind as you're picking out where you're going to pick a tool. So number one, everybody has a different best solution. So let me say that again. Everyone has a different best solution. And it's not the same for everyone. So my goal for you is that you have all the knowledge that you need to pick out what's best for you. And yes, I am a big fan of Kajabi and the student experience, but it's not the only game in town, and it's not the right solution for everyone. So just to throw that out there, it's okay if you're not on board with the big trends, like such and such is using this and I just don't think that's right for me. That's fine. That's great, actually, because it means you are paying attention to what you specifically need. And I'm going to link to episode 204, which has some questions to ask yourself so that you really know what it is you need and what you need right now. Okay, tip number 2, should you upgrade or should you change what you're currently using? If some of you, I know, have already gotten started, one of your questions is probably like, should I stay here or should I switch? So I will tell you, I'm not a huge fan of changing just to change. If you're going to switch to something and you have to invest all the time to move your content, move all your email subscribers, move your course, I want it to really be worth it. So make sure you think about what's involved in moving. How much time and effort is that going to take? Because there is an opportunity cost of you doing that instead of creating a new course or marketing it or connecting with new partners. So there's always that choice of, is this the best way for me to be spending my time to be moving all of this? The other thing is you could lose some email subscribers when you move, depending on how the tool does that. And your students might also get a little frustrated if they lose their progress on the course, because most of the time you can't track those things and move those so that, you know, if they did the first 5 lessons of a 10-lesson course, they won't know that anymore. So just something to keep in mind. That's why you want to get this choice correct to begin with so you don't have to move. And then sort of related to this, I'll tell you a little story about what I'm working on because I'm excited about this. I'm hoping I can get this in place. Is I want to really add some custom AI tools for you all and pull those into my courses. And I'm still working out the math around what this all is going to look like and what it's going to take for me to do it and what it's going to cost, because I'll need to charge a little bit more. So that's some of the things that I'm working on around upgrading my current tech. Okay, number 3 tip for you is ask yourself, what stage of business are you in? And what I mean by this is there is a spectrum and there's no right answer. You just want to know where you are at. So on one end of the spectrum, you might be in more of a dabbler, almost a hobby, kind of testing things out right now. You're not fully committed to it, but you're interested and you want to check things out. Or you might be on completely the other end in that you are committed to doing whatever it takes to get this online course business going and up and running and to get your coaching and everything. Like, you are dead convinced that this is for you and you're going to make this work. So depending on where you are on that spectrum, you might want to pick different tools, because if you're on that committed side of things that you know you're going to be around for the next 5 years, then you want to pick a tool so you're not wasting your time moving. But if you're just dabbling, you might want to play with one of the other tools and see, like, do I like doing this? Is this fun? Do I enjoy helping people? And let me put out a mini course or a smaller course and just see how it feels and see how it goes. So think about what stage of business you are in. Number 4, and this is what I really want you to think about, is how much can you invest before you need to have the tool paying for itself? So let me explain what I mean, and I'm just going to use round numbers to make it easy. So let's say you sign up and you are paying $100 a month for your online tools. How long can you cover $100 a month before you're making enough income to cover that and give you some profit? So I just want you to have that in your head. Is it 2 months? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Like, how long can you pay that $100 before you must be making some income from it? And the enough that you don't have to pay for the cost of the tools out of your own pocket. So I've had a few students that kind of don't get going right away, and then they get upset because they're having to pay for this tool. So that's one of the things I really focus on as we're doing the Kickstarter program is what can you put out there that can cover your costs very quickly, and what can you get set up and get going with, so that we're not concerned about paying for our tools, and we're going to build up that profit. Like, that's the ultimate goal, but we got to start somewhere. So I want you to start with covering the cost of your tools, and then we're going to get into making sure we're making money from it. Okay. Question number 5 is, what features are essential and which ones do you potentially want in the future? So I talked about this a lot more in episode 204. So if you're not sure, go check out that episode after we finish, and the link's in the show notes, because you want to be thinking ahead and thinking about, okay, this is really, really important to me. So one of the things that I always like to mention, if you absolutely have to have control over the design of your site, and that is super, super important to you, as opposed to using some templates that are already created, then Kajabi might not be the best fit for you, because it's a little bit more challenging to program. I've had some photographers in the past where they're like, yeah, I don't like the way this works. So they pick a different tool in order to get them set up. And that's fine. You know, you want to know what is the minimum that you have to have in order to get things going. So things like providing course certificates at the end when somebody finishes a course. Is that important? Do you need to have that? Do you need to have that at some point? Because some of the tools that are out there don't have that. What are some of the other things that are essential to you? And I'll tell you one of mine. I really want the students to have a good experience. So I don't want it to be difficult to log in, or difficult to go through the course, or difficult to find their lessons. Also want them to be able to listen and take their courses on their phone, which is one of the reasons that I do like Kajabi, because it has an app. I don't even have to create my own app. It's already an app where you can go in and you can listen to and watch and check out your courses. So that's just another one of the things that I think can be helpful as you're figuring out, like, what should my tech stack look at? Think about what features are essential for you. So that's tip number 5. And then the last one, tip number 6, is, what are your rules for your tools? I thought that was kind of fun. Rules for your tools. And I'll give you a couple of mine. You will have your own. But number 1 for me, it has to be a good experience for my students and my clients. Number 2 for me is I never do one-time fees for the essential pieces of my business, because I've seen, after 20 years of this business, I've seen too many one-time fee tools go and disappear because they need ongoing income to continue to pay for servers, to continue to pay for support, to continue to pay for development. So I never use one-time tools for the essential pieces of my business. So that's the email, that's the course hosting, that's the website hosting. I do use one-time tools like for social media, because if one of those went under, it would be frustrating and annoying, but it wouldn't put an end to my business. If my email provider goes under that's doing my email newsletter, that could put me out of business. So what are your rules? What are the things that you're like, this is a no-brainer rule for me and must happen with the tools that I am using? Let's see. So those are our big 6 tips as you're thinking about your tech stack and what you're doing. Please message me if you want some help on this. Get on my email and hit reply to any of those messages. They all come to me. I am big on reading my own email. That might change at some point, but for now, I am definitely still getting your emails. So just hit reply to anything that comes through. and we can chat a little bit more about where you're at and how things are going. So I hope this was helpful to sort of wrap your head around your technology and where you were headed and what you want to do, especially as we head into the new year. This is a perfect time to be thinking about this, because there are probably also, we're getting very close to the Black Friday deals. So I would be thinking about which tools am I most excited about to maybe get some really good deals on. That's another thing to consider. So I hope you will test out Kajabi if you're at all interested or considering it or wondering if it's right for you. And I want us to be able to work together, because I've taken a bunch of the headaches away for you with my Kickstarter training. It is a lot, and there's a lot there. So this probably should be tip number 7, but the more features any of your technology has, the more complex it is to use. So the simpler the tool is, the less features you get, but it's also simpler, as opposed to something that's more of a bigger all-in-one, let me do everything for you. It's going to be more complicated, so make sure you're getting some help along the way. Alrighty, thank you for being here. I so appreciate you listening, coming back after my cat break, and I hope we're able to work together for the next 90 days, all the way through to January 21st of 2024. That would be fantastic. We can get you set up and get you running over the next 90 days and get things up and going for 2025. So let's do this. Let's get to work together. Take care. Thank you. And I will talk to you on the next episode.